Hey guys, this is Sir Robert here. We're going to do an advanced tutorial. We're going to do an advanced tutorial on hog attacks for Town Hall 8. As you know, I think at the present moment, hogs are the king of all attacks for Town Hall 8, where you should be able to 3-star every Town Hall 8 base using all hogs. That being said, we're going to run through the basics of the basic of the hog attack and then some more advanced uh, things that you guys should be thinking about, which will increase your chances of 3-starring. So the first thing we're going to look at here is the clan castle. That's the first thing you need to deal with. You must lure out the clan castle troops and be sure you lure out all of them. And you must kill the clan castle troops. An absolute must. If you leave even one wizard behind, that one wizard can completely wreck your attack. So it's essential that you lure out the clan castle troops. The second thing is you want to try to locate where the giant bombs are. So you will look at areas that you have these spaces that'll fit these giant bombs. So this space is a fairly well designed base because there's a lot of areas that you can have these giant bombs. There's no areas for a double giant bomb really, so that's a huge plus. They're just solo giant bombs, which make it actually much easier. And if you can destroy even just one of those giant bombs before the war starts, you have a much higher likelihood of 3-starring the base. It's always better if someone would attack before you so you have an idea of where they are, get a free look, so to speak. But if not, you got to use your judgment to try to figure out where they would be. A little harder in this space because there were many areas that it could be, so that makes it a little more difficult. If you do know where they are, it's always a good idea to try to trip them. Um, Even if you just to sacrifice a few hogs to get rid of them, it's always best to get rid of at least one of the giant bombs, um, and that will make your attack much easier. The next thing you could look at, which is a more advanced thing, is if you ever see two defenses that are fairly close to each other with a space. So let's go back a little here, clean up there, and let's go to, say, blue. So for example, right here, there's a space. You see that one space? So that space there certainly could be a spring trap. So what happens is, as the the hog runs from here, goes to here, stops on the spring trap, and that's when the spring trap does your hogs in. So that's when I recommend doing a two-figure drop when you're going to release your troops to take out this and take out this at the same time, so that if a hog runs over the spring trap at regular speed, doesn't stop on it, it doesn't get affected by the spring trap. It's only if it runs and stops on the spring trap. So that's the secret to avoiding troop loss um, over spring traps. You have the same issue here. So if you were planning on releasing hogs in that area, that's what I would do. I'd release with a two-finger drop to take those out, so that wouldn't be affected by the spring trap. You got the same issue over here as well. That's potentially an issue. You could even do it. So if you're going to release the hogs on this particular side, you could do a three-finger drop here. You know, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to avoid those two potential spring traps, or it could even be a bomb there, because then once these are taken down, the hogs are going to move to the next targets, wherever those targets might be, or they may all move together, but they'll move to some other target, um, and out of that area. Let's watch. The last thing that you should consider is looking in the corners and seeing what's in the corners. If you see any huts in the corners, I recommend always saving some troops for the end. Always keep a couple troops left over, so you could always clean things up in an area that needs it. But if you're going to drop any troops on one particular side, no matter what side it's going to be. Um, I would always recommend trying to take out those corner buildings, or they will wreck you. All right, let's watch Ben's attack. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. All right, guys, got it reloaded. So let's watch Ben's attack. I'll speed up a little there. This is just the normal clan castle lore. Doesn't matter what you use. You can use hog, balloons, barbarian, whatever it takes to get the out of the clan castle. I like personally to save my poison to use on the skeletons. That's my personal preference. You don't have to. Um, but they will absolutely, the poison will kill the ground troops easily. And then, of course, use wizards. You can use anything you like to kill them. Wizards, 10 wizards and 4 barbs, 10 wizards, 10 archers is a great, as a cleanup. Okay, so he released them all as a single finger drop. In most cases, if not nearly all cases, you prefer to use a 2 finger drop or a 3 finger drop. Even sometimes you can use surgical hogs to surgically take out certain things, for the reasons I discussed earlier, where you can avoid spring traps and double bombs, things like of that nature by doing that. Also, um, typically the hogs, the way they work at is they meet up anyway, so you spread them out, but they come together anyway. So it's fine. The key thing during these attacks is the use of your heal spells. Once you put your hogs down, you cannot take your eyes off your hogs. You can't be looking around thinking about dropping down wizards and other troops, and you've got to be looking at your hogs because you've got to focus on dropping your spells and keeping them alive. Generally, in most cases, you would like to use your spells in areas where you have a big bunch of defenses. So, me looking at this space now, I would think that this area here, you got 4 defenses, would be a great area to use a heal spell. Other areas, it's pretty evenly spread out. I mean, um, but that's one area that I would certainly think that I'm going to need a heal spell. Probably in the middle somewhere. There's probably going to be some Teslas in the middle. So in here, there's probably going to be a need for another one. So that's my guess, is that those areas, you drop this first one down there to keep them alive during the initial part of the attack, which is fine. And then those are the other 2 areas I would think to use that heal. Let's see how he plays out. So again, I'd be thinking heal, and he drops it down. Excellent. And same thing in the middle of the base. So that's exactly what I would have done as well. Good use of spells, Ben. Excellent. And you can see now you don't have to think about anything anymore. You've done your heals. You could look anywhere else on the base. You've done all you can do. The hogs have to do their thing, and that's it. One thing you can do, which I should mention, um, you can tank for your hogs, especially if your hogs get depleted at that stage. You could drop your Barb King down. You could drop your Barb King down to tank. So basically, you can drop your Barb King over here, let's say, um, so that this will fire on the Barb King instead of firing on your hogs. This is not going to take down your Barb King, the cannon, no chance. All the other defense are pretty much down, but that's one way of using your Barb King during these attacks, is to basically tank for your hogs, because that's more important. And we'll speed this up because this attack is essentially done. All right, I'm going to go on to the next attack for time's sake. So same idea on this particular base. This base is a little different than the other because you're probably going to have a Tesla in these areas. That's my guess. And then you're probably going to have, I'm guessing you're going to have some giant bombs maybe here, could be, or there, or there. Could it fit here? Could it fit there? Those are the more likely areas to see them. You certainly could put them over here too, or over here. It's possible, but most likely it's going to be one of those 4 areas. Um, Another thing to think about with these attacks are spring traps. And again, that's another reason why I like the two-finger drop versus the one-finger drop. Like for example, here could be a spring trap. So if I in fact were going to deploy my hogs, I wouldn't deploy them all together as one line. I would put them in two lines, because that way I can take out this and this at the same time, and my hogs would not run and stop on the spring trap. See, if the hogs run over the spring trap quickly, they're not affected. It's only if they run and stop on it. So if you can take out two defenses that are close together with a space for a spring trap, then you're not going to have a problem with that spring trap. So that's one thing to think about. Also, by doing so, um, there'll be no need to run over this giant bomb. Uh, it's possible these hogs here might go this way, but you could do a three-finger drop as well. So you're alleviating that potential. All right, let's watch Ben's attack. Same thing, lure the clan castle troops. I'm going to speed up here because running out of time. I'll speed up through this lure and kill squad. Okay, so here go the hogs. Again, that was a single finger drop, which is fine. He expected to be it was a low risk for double bombs there, or for giant bombs there, but it was a risk. He did run into some spring traps there. Again, good use of heals there. That's the key, is keeping those hogs up. And there was a spring trap there. So as you can see, even with running into all these giant bombs, uh, there were the keeping the hogs healed, making sure they're healed before they run over those areas. You're still going to wreck these bases. That's the key of keeping those hogs healed. Anyway, that's it for this week, guys. Happy hogging.